My beloved child. Before you scroll away, hear me carefully. What I am about to reveal in this moment is not small. It is not random. And it is not something you were meant to miss. If this message found you today, there is a reason for it. Stay until the end, because what I'm about to uncover about your soulmate may explain everything you have been feeling lately. There is movement happening behind the scenes of your life right now. You may not see it. You may not understand it. You may not even have proof of it yet. But your soulmate is being drawn closer to you in ways you cannot fully imagine. And my child, before this message is over, you are going to understand why your waiting season has felt so intense, why certain people had to leave, why your heart has been pulled in strange directions lately, and why someone connected to your destiny may be thinking about you more than you realize. So do not skip this message. Do not leave halfway through. Because one part of what I'm about to say is going to confirm something you have felt in your spirit for a long time. I know you have been tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of wondering. Tired of hoping for something you cannot see. Tired of trying to act strong while your heart quietly asks me the same question over and over again. God, is my soulmate really coming? Are they even real? Why has this taken so long? Why does it feel like love keeps getting close, and then disappearing? Why do I keep feeling like something is about to happen, but then nothing changes? My child, listen to me. The delay was never proof that I forgot you. The silence was never proof that nothing was happening. And the heartbreak you survived was never the end of your story. In fact, some of the very things that made you feel abandoned were actually part of my protection. Yes, protection. Because there were people you wanted to keep that I had to remove. There were connections you thought were for me that were only distractions. There were doors you cried over that would have led you into more confusion, more instability, and more pain than you were prepared for. There were relationships that looked promising at first, but if I had let them continue, they would have broken parts of you that I was trying to heal. And I need you to understand something right now. Just because someone touched your emotions does not mean they were a sign to your future. Some people were a lesson, not a promise. Some were a warning, not a blessing. Some were only there to reveal the places in your heart that still needed healing. And some were allowed to leave because they were standing in the way of what is truly meant for you. That is why I need you to stop grieving certain doors as if they were your destiny. They were not. What is meant for you will not require you to shrink yourself to keep it. It will not require you to beg for honesty. It will not keep you in constant confusion. It will not starve you emotionally and then call it love. And it will not leave you carrying the entire connection by yourself. Your soulmate is not being prepared to give you another cycle of anxiety. They are being prepared to meet you with truth. But before I bring them closer, I had to deal with what was happening in both of you. Yes, in both of you. Because while you were praying for love, I was preparing your heart to recognize it. And while you were wondering where they were, I was working in their life too. I have been confronting things in them that could not follow them into this next chapter. I have been exposing their fears. I have been tearing down pride. I have been bringing hidden wounds to the surface. I have been allowing certain relationships in their life to fail so they could finally see what shallow love looks like. I have been showing them the difference between temporary excitement and a connection that carries peace. And my child, this is where it gets important. Your soulmate may be going through a deep internal shift right now. A shift they cannot ignore. A shift they did not expect. A shift that is changing how they think about love, commitment, and the future. They may be realizing that what they chased before never satisfied them. They may be recognizing that they have been settling for surface-level connections that look good from a distance but leave them empty in private. They may be seeing, maybe for the first time, that the kind of person they truly need is not someone who only entertains them, but someone who brings peace, honesty, and emotional safety. And whether they understand it fully yet or not, that shift is bringing them closer to you. Closer in mindset. Closer in readiness. Closer in emotional maturity. Closer in alignment. This is why I need you to pay attention to your own spirit in this season. Because one of the first signs that your soulmate is drawing near is not always something you see around you. Sometimes it begins with what starts changing inside of you. You may notice that certain conversations no longer excite you the way they used to. Certain people who once had access to your emotions no longer feel the same. The idea of chasing someone suddenly feels exhausting. Mixed signals start irritating your spirit. You begin losing patience for half love, half effort, half truth, and half commitment. That is not random. That is preparation. You are being healed out of your tolerance for confusion. You are being healed out of your attraction to inconsistency. You are being healed out of the need to prove your worth to emotionally unavailable people. You are being healed out of patterns that once kept you stuck in relationships that looked intense but were actually draining the life out of you. And if you have felt lonely because of that shift, hear me carefully. Loneliness in a healing season is often the space where I break your attachment to what no longer deserves you. There are some people you cannot carry into the next chapter. There are some attachments I will not let you keep. There are some emotional ties I am cutting because they have been delaying your peace. You may still be holding on to someone from your past. Someone whose memory still stirs something in you. Someone you thought would become more than they did. Someone you prayed over. Someone you waited on. Someone you still wonder about late at night, even though deep down you know the connection left more confusion than clarity. My child, if I am preparing your heart for what is real, I cannot leave you chained to what was never meant to stay. So do not be surprised if I start removing the emotional power that person once had over you. Do not be surprised if the memories start losing their grip. Do not be surprised if you suddenly see the truth of that connection more clearly than ever before. Do not be surprised if I reveal why it had to end. Do not be surprised if the person you once thought you could never move on from, no longer feels like home to your spirit. Because sometimes closure does not come through a conversation. Sometimes closure comes through revelation. Sometimes I let you finally see what your emotions were hiding. Sometimes I show you that what you called love was actually inconsistency, fantasy, loneliness, or trauma attachment. Sometimes I remove the illusion so the truth can breathe. And when I do, do not run back to what I am freeing you from. Do not reopen a door I closed just because you feel lonely one night. Do not return to the same confusion and call it fate. Do not confuse familiarity with destiny. Do not choose the pain you recognize over the peace you have not yet learned to trust. Because that is another sign I need you to understand. As your soulmate gets closer, your peace will start mattering more than your fantasies. You will stop asking, "Do they like me enough?" and start asking, "Do they carry the character to protect what is sacred?" You will stop asking, "Can I keep their attention?" and start asking, "Can this connection hold honesty, consistency, and truth?" You will stop being impressed by intensity alone. You will stop mistaking obsession for love. You will stop calling anxiety chemistry. You will stop confusing emotional highs and lows with spiritual depth. My child, not every person who makes your heart race has access to your future. Some people only awaken your wounds. Some only trigger your fears. Some only mirror the chaos you are used to. And because that kind of intensity feels familiar, you call it powerful. But real love will feel different. It will not need confusion to keep your attention. It will not disappear every time things get serious. It will not ask you to betray your peace in order to keep it alive. It will not constantly make you question where you stand. It will not keep you begging for the bare minimum while calling that a connection. No. The person I am bringing toward you may not be perfect, but they will be sincere. They may not say every word exactly right, but they will not play games with your emotions. They may not arrive in the dramatic way you imagined, but there will be something about the connection that feels different because it carries weight, it carries peace. It carries truth. And this is where many of you need to listen very carefully. Do not miss your blessing because it arrives quietly. Not everything real enters your life with fireworks. Not everything destined begins with overwhelming intensity. Not everything from me announces itself with drama. Sometimes what is meant for you begins softly. A conversation that feels natural. A reconnection you did not expect. A person whose presence feels safe instead of confusing. A friendship that slowly deepens. An interaction that seems simple at first, but keeps returning to your spirit because there is something honest about it. And if you are not careful, you will overlook peace because you have been trained by chaos to only notice intensity. That is why this season matters so much. I am teaching you how to recognize what is healthy. I am teaching you how to stop romanticizing dysfunction. I am teaching you how to tell the difference between chemistry and character, attention and intention, desire and destiny. Because when your soulmate appears, I do not want you sabotaging the connection just because it feels calmer than what you are used to. Some of you are afraid of that. You are afraid that when real love finally comes, you will ruin it. You are afraid your fears will get in the way. You are afraid your past will make you suspicious. You are afraid you will not know how to receive something healthy because you have spent so much time surviving unhealthy things. But hear me now. Do not let fear write a future I never spoke. Yes, there are still places in you that need healing. Yes, there are still moments where your heart gets nervous. Yes, there are still wounds that sometimes whisper lies to you. But I am not bringing you into your next chapter without grace. I will teach you how to receive love without panic controlling every moment. I will teach you how to communicate instead of shutting down. I will teach you how to stay present instead of expecting abandonment every time someone gets close. I will teach you how to recognize the difference between a real warning sign and a normal human flaw. I will teach you how to let something healthy grow without demanding perfection on the first day. This is not just about meeting the right person. It is about becoming ready to build with the right person when they arrive. That means continuing to heal. Continuing to release what I ask you to release. Continuing to tell the truth about what still hurts. Continuing to protect your peace. Continuing to walk away from what drains your spirit. Continuing to trust me even when the full picture is not visible yet. And I know that can be hard. Because some of you are tired of hearing, wait. Tired of hearing, trust the process. Tired of hearing that something is happening behind the scenes while your heart still feels empty in the visible world. But listen to me, my child. This is not empty waiting. This is alignment. Every time I remove someone who only wanted access to your heart without the responsibility of caring for it, that is alignment. Every time I show you a red flag before you become deeply attached, that is alignment. Every time I heal one more layer of your fear, your insecurity, your people-pleasing, or your desperation, that is alignment. Every time your standards rise and your tolerance for confusion falls, that is alignment. Every time I teach you to value peace more than fantasy, that is alignment. And yes, every time I work in the life of the person connected to your future, even while you know nothing about it, that too is alignment. So if you have been asking me for a sign, here it is. The heaviness you have felt is not meaningless. The changes inside you are not meaningless. The closed doors were not meaningless. The loss of interest in certain people is not meaningless. The strange sense that something is shifting, even if you cannot explain it, is not meaningless. Something is moving. And I need you to hear this next part with your whole heart. Do not settle now. Not because you are lonely. Not because you are tired. Not because someone gave you temporary attention. Not because you miss being chosen. Not because you are afraid that if you let go of the wrong connection, nothing better will come. Do not settle. Do not go back to the person who only knows how to love you halfway. Do not entertain someone who keeps you confused but calls it chemistry. Do not lower your standards just because the wait has been long. Do not betray the healing I have done in you for one more round of almost love. You have come too far for that. The version of you I am building now is not the same version that used to beg for crumbs, chase clarity, or confuse chaos with passion. The version of you I am building now is stronger, wiser, softer in the right ways, and more aware of what your spirit truly needs. And that is why I can say this with confidence. Your story is not over. Your waiting has not been wasted. Your tears were not for nothing. Your healing has purpose. Your discernment has purpose. And the love I am preparing for you is not a fantasy. It is real. Your soulmate is being moved closer, not only in distance, but in readiness, in awareness, in maturity, and in alignment. Things are shifting in ways you cannot fully see yet. Conversations are being arranged. Old cycles are breaking. People are being removed. Hearts are being softened. Truth is being revealed. And the path is being cleared. So stay close to me now. Do not rush ahead of my peace. Do not cling to what I am trying to remove. Do not call yourself forgotten just because the timing has been slow. Do not assume nothing is happening just because today looks ordinary. Some of the biggest miracles begin in ordinary days. They begin in quiet healing. In private surrender. In doors closing that you did not want closed. In patterns breaking that you did not know were delaying you. In prayers whispered through tears. In the moment you finally stop chasing what hurts you and start trusting what I am doing. And if this message has touched your heart, I want you to hold on a little longer. Because what is being aligned for you is not small. What I am preparing is not random. And what is coming next in your love story may arrive sooner than you think. Stay ready. Stay honest. Stay healed. Stay prayerful. Stay open to peace. Because the connection I have been preparing for you is closer than you realize. And when the moment comes, you will understand why I made you wait. You will understand why certain doors had to close. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why I kept telling you not yet. And you will understand that even in the silence, I was still writing your story. My beloved child, trust me a little on.